Welcome to the CFG Gamecast, episode number 31, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode on the weekends, Saturdays, or Sundays, and release it on podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. So show us some love and follow us on cfggamecast.podbean.com to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG himself, Davis Green, and with me are my two awesome co-hosts all the time. I got Flexiss, flexing it strong. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here as always.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So how was
enjoying the holidays?
Yeah, we had a good extended break on the holidays. We didn't stream last week. So how was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was great. Got gained plenty of weight and took 2 naps, not just one,
nice.
But 2 naps on Thanksgiving. So you could say I partied it up pretty hard.
The first nap was the training nap, and then the real nap was nap number 2 was the itis. That's what we like to nickname it.
Yeah, pretty much. It was Thanksgiving dinner actually, and then nap, and then I woke up for pie, and then a nap after pie.
Ooh.
Wow,
yep. No, you did that correctly.
It sounds like you even had that set as an itinerary, so that's pretty impressive in itself, so that's pretty good. All right, and we got the future EGOT of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the 3rd seat. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing well, my friend. It was good. We had the Turkey Day that was last week, right? We had family in town, so there was a good 7 of us together. We said, you know what? We are not going to deal with dishes and cooking, so we went to a buffet. It was fantastic. We went over to Red Rock. However, there was a 2-hour wait. But the great thing about that, though, is that, there's enough of us to where we were just switching off and who was being in line. We'd go and grab some drinks at the bar, bring it back, so we made the best of it. And then we end up eating, filling our bellies and going back and chilling. And I can't remember if I passed out or what. Everything seems like a blur lately. Just been grinding. Straight up, everything is just kind of blurred together. I'm just going, head down, just making it through. So, you know how it is.
Actions essentially is what you're just admitting right now.
I mean, hey,
it's like you're wrong.
Live hardcore. Gotta go hard. You gotta go hard.
I guess so. But,
what about yourself, man? What'd you get into?
Man, well, I've been packing because I'm going to be moving very soon. I'm moving this weekend to a new spot and also getting ready to set up the new area, which I can't wait. I've been waiting. I haven't been streaming consistently because of where I'm at. So, but now I don't have any excuses. So I've been packing everything up, setting everything organized. So on Saturday, we will be going ham on just trying to get everything out as fast as we can and organized and so on. But in the meantime, though, I've just been just working most of the time, most of it. So but we got some awesome announcements coming up. But we'll put that at the end of the stream. And won't bore you for everything else. So, but let's get back into it. We got a nice media episode as always. Excuse me. Each of us has a new topic of discussion within video games from the previous week. The topic would or could be about a special game or something that happened in the gaming industry. And we also don't want to just talk amongst ourselves about this. We want everyone that's actually currently watching us on stream on twitch.tv to be a part of the conversation. So if you have something to say or if you have a statement about what we're talking about, definitely put it in our chat and we'll definitely discuss it with you too, the viewer. So definitely just post away. Don't feel shy. No judgments. So anyways, let's get down to it.
I'll judge you.
Yeah, well, besides Smitty's. Smitty is a judger. That's what he is. Anyways, let's go with it. Smitty, what do you have to bring to the table?
All right, so this past weekend, I was fortunate enough, my day-to-day job, I work at the Las Vegas Review Journal, which is a paper, but I work in their digital side, and we've been working with them and talking with them as far as being able to go out and do some shooting, go out and go to some of these events that are happening out here in Vegas. And I even said it this weekend. Vegas, I feel like is really embracing gaming and that culture and that community. I feel like Vegas is going to be that mecca of gaming. It's already an international hotspot, right? And you were starting to see bigger and bigger tournaments coming out here. You know what I mean? There's been things as far as being able to bet on esports and whatnot. So I'm lucky. I feel like I'm fortunate to be able to go to some of these events. You know, this is starting to kick off, and I'll be able to go to these events and talk to people and see what's going on and be a part of that as well, which is awesome. I was fortunate enough to be able to go to the League of Legends All-Star Tournament. Was this past weekend. It ended yesterday, but I went Friday and Saturday. Nope, yesterday was Saturday. Thursday and Friday is when I went. And I was able to talk with myself and my partner Lucas Egg, and we were able to talk with Doinby, which this is crazy. So this is really the first time that I've been to some other esports things, but again, this is League of Legends, and I didn't realize just how big League of Legends is, and these people, these pro players and personalities and stuff like that. There are literally people just freaking out and going up and asking for their autographs and this and that. They are freaking superstars, man. They are superstars, and it was awesome. That was my first time really seeing just how big they really are, and esports and gaming and everything, man. It is there, it is in people's faces and whatnot. But I really, we got a chance to speak with Doinby. He won the 2019 his team. I can't remember the name of the team. I have to take a look at it. But we got an interview with him as far as he almost, his story is really interesting. He almost retired. He was almost going to retire, but then his wife convinced him to continue playing. Got onto a new team, and they ended up winning the championship. And, he won, best mid laner. It's awesome. So I'm gonna throw that up real quick and let you guys take a look. And in his own words, let's see if I can get this going. Here we go. Hey. So that was awesome getting to be able to do that, put that together, meet and speak with these people. It's just crazy to me, and I love just how much the gaming culture, how big it's getting, and people are really starting to see that because it really is a great community. I know League of Legends, I've heard stories about that game and that community and how it can be not the best. But just seeing all this stuff and these bigger people coming out here and these bigger events that are starting to happen, I don't know. It's really exciting to me.
Yeah, before you do that, you may want to explain what just happened on that time, because we're on the podcast side. They won't know what that is because it's 30
Yep,
seconds.
you're absolutely correct.
Yeah,
I am sorry. Yep, that's right. I'm totally playing for the visual here. My bad. Yeah. So it was just and I'll drop I should have dropped the link in chat. I'll do that here in a second. But yeah, basically it was a video. I went over to the League of Legends All-Star event this past weekend. I was able to watch some of the matches. We were able to get interviews with some of the players, some of the personalities, some of the event people from Riot. You know what I mean? I got to meet some of the people that are a part of Riot Games and whatnot. So overall, it was a great experience, and being able to take what I do full-time job-wise, and they're giving me the opportunities to do more on a content creation side, and this is giving me access to things like this. Dude, I'm super excited, just for the future of, I don't know, man. Who knows where it goes? Again, look at us. We're on episode 31. I could have told you back in March or April. Who knows what would have happened? But David said, "Hey, man, let's do this. Let's do this podcast, right? Let's do this podcast." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, let's do it." And here we are.
Yeah, so nice. And I guess I never really experienced it. Flex, have you ever been to a League of Legends tournament and stuff? Because I've never experienced it myself personally.
So I have not, but obviously I've been to many fighting game tournaments that are on probably not that big of a scale, but a similar scale. And it's actually funny that Smitty mentioned, the autograph thing. First off, that in esports, like fighting games, that's like that, like people will come up to like pro players and do that. But I think the coolest thing, and this is something I've personally done, so I'm sure we're all familiar with Overwatch League, and the only female player in Overwatch League is Geguri. And I idolize her because she's like a female amongst like multiple teams full of men, and so it's kind of like going against the odds. So I actually bought an autographed picture of her off of the Overwatch website because I really liked the fact that she's a girl and so on and so forth. But yeah, like the whole autograph things, I mean, it makes it seem, in a sense, it is a real sport, but it makes it seem like, they're like on the same level as like a football player, or like a pro, like sports player otherwise. So I think it's really neat.
You know what's funny to me, and it's funny when you were saying like you never this is the first time you've truly experienced like how big the scene truly is when you went to that environment. It reminds me of the Saturday Night Live sketch that happened a couple of weeks ago with Chance the Rapper. Being like a part of the newscast, and then he has no idea what League of Legends is, and he just doesn't understand the whole thing. So that's what it sounds like to me with you, Smitty. But
no, but I understand what a MOBA is. Yeah. I know what a MOBA is, so I understood enough to know what was happening. I couldn't tell you. I know about lanes and this and that. So like, I understand the and I played a little bit. I remember my brother years ago. I was like, "Oh, dude, you got to try this game." Like, he was super hardcore in the LoL, and and I played a little bit, and I was like, that's not true. That's it just wasn't really for me. So So like, I wasn't like just a complete like. I understood, like, I think that's what made it more fun for me was the fact that I did know the game, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't really know the people. I knew some of the personalities, like a couple of the personalities, but this was an international event, right? They had people representative from all over the world as a part of this, and this is at the end of their season, so think of it like their Pro Bowl, you know what I mean? This is a sit back and cutting loose and having fun with fans, and you got personalities, and these pro players are doing all these crazy, different modes and stuff like that. Like it was really cool to see something like that and have something like that hosted out here, man. Like, people see this. You have all kinds of award shows and conventions and this and that. I think Vegas is going to take that opportunity, and they are completely embracing the gaming and that community and that culture, and they're going full force with it. And I think I love it. I love it. And it's like, I want to be on the ground floor of that. So that's what I'm trying to do, man.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's cool.
So,
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna comment on the Vegas aspect real quick, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So last tournament I went to, North American Regional Finals for Street Fighter, was in Vegas. And for those who don't know, in the Luxor, there is an esports arena that looks amazing. It is so cool. Very official looking. But like, and there's a huge international tournament called Evo. It's for fighting games. So like, yeah, Vegas is definitely the place to be for fighting games. Like, it's huge there, and it's cool because this tournament, like, you have international players. You have players from, like Europe, Asia, Middle East, God, like all over the U.S., of course, and so on and so forth. So it's absolutely insane that you have like this huge group of people that are coming together. I mean, there was like thousands and thousands of people at Evo. And then at North American Regional Finals, there was probably like 200, maybe. Yeah, see, that's a picture of it. That's at the Luxor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. It is so absolutely insane.
It's dope.
I love going there. I think it's so neat. But yeah, no, I think Vegas is definitely becoming a huge hub, and they really are embracing like esports and gaming. Like some bars are even showing it on a TV and stuff like that. Of course, you have all these events there. But yeah, North American Regional Finals was such an experience for me because you've got all of these like extremely high level players competing against each other for points and the opportunity to win. And I mean, like the first two people I played against were both from Japan. And like there was people there again from like the Middle East and stuff like that were there, and like it was just such a cool experience because you're surrounded by all these pro players that people consider to be celebrities, and then it's like then there's little old me, and I'm like, oh hi, I'm a big fan. I know you don't know who I am, but I know who you are.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. I mean, yeah, it's you know what I really wish. I kind of wish the fighting game community kind of has the same kind of presence as what MOBA's like community is, like League of Legends and stuff like that. And from a previous statement that what General Davis says, I believe it was General Davis. Yeah, it was. That they played League of Legends and there is more champions than ever now. And I didn't even think about this, but League of Legends has been around for 10 years. Like, it's been a while.
Yep.
And
yeah,
and their library of characters that they are like constantly churning out. Man, this is like, and to say that they still got like, you know, that kind of following is insanely impressive to me. And then like hate it or love it, I mean, you definitely have to respect on what they did. They basically essentially made a new kind of genre. They're not the first to make a MOBA, but they definitely made it mainstream. From everything,
right.
Like from everything that they have done and accomplished. Because I mean, they're just now starting to make a different game after this was the initial one. So to say, so I'm just glad. I mean, I'm glad that you experienced it. I want to experience something like that eventually. But I'm not in any hurry. And maybe figure out like to see like how the scene is going to grow. But the biggest thing is, like, for me personally, I'm not a league guy. I know I can't. I'm not going to lie that I don't know. I mean, I play HOTS a lot, so I understand the same kind of lingo and stuff. But it's just that. I'm just glad that they definitely have a place to kind of show these superstars like what these people can truly do, you know. So that's cool.
Right. And then real quick too, so I just wanted to circle back. So I also had the opportunity to interview Tyler One, and you know what I mean, like Lucas was like, all right, what do you know, because Lucas wasn't very familiar with him. I'm like, again, I'm not like super familiar with Tyler One, but like I know him from like the daily Twitch shows and that stuff on YouTube, like, you know, they'll pop up and whatnot. But we got a chance to interview him and stuff like that. Super cool guy. But you know, I was like, look, let's ask him about just what his take is on these streamers moving over to Mixer and Facebook and YouTube. And I thought he was spot on with how he answered. So I'm gonna pop that up real quick. Maybe
one of if there's subtitles, why don't one of us read the subtitles for the for the podcast?
There's no subtitles on this. This is just a little 25 second thing here.
So it says voice, okay.
Okay.
All it matters is voice. Okay.
Yeah, this is like straight, like I just cut it. I didn't even do anything with it.
All right.
Hold on. Okay. Here we go.
You lied.
Yeah, there's no audio.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah,
no audio?
No audio.
No. Hold on. Oh, come on. Damn it. I wonder if was there no audio on the other one?
No,
there was.
The other one.
There was not.
There was not? Oh, you guys didn't even tell me?
We did.
Oh,
we
my
did.
gosh. Oh, did you? I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Hold on. All right, I'm gonna shut the hell up then. I'm gonna go ahead and we will get back to that. Anyway, just check it out. We'll post it later on the socials with stuff. Never mind. That was some juicy stuff too. Yeah. Big F's. But anyway, I mean, for me though, really, this is. I mean, just kind of we'll bypass that stuff. You guys didn't see any of that. Regardless, it's been a great year. I'm super proud of the work that we've done here on the CFG Gamecast and everybody that's been on. There's so many people that are in here in chat right now that have been a part of this, that have helped out in some way. You guys have, you know what I mean? Someone's off, people will come in and fill in. It's, you know, excuse me, it's been awesome. So thank you again for letting me be a part of this. And you know, I'm looking forward to more. So
awesome. All right, cool deal, nice. And so now it's my topic. So let me get that up real quick. Let us see. Okay, so basically, my topic was going to be about the surprisingly, me talking about this is very interesting to me, but it's a Xbox game, the Scarlet, Project Scarlet. It actually, I was thinking about this the other day because Smitty was streaming. Check his stuff out at Smitty2447 on what's it called, for Halo. He was trying to play Halo that night and couldn't do it, and because there were some issues that he came across. So I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of like, because it was just basically a mix up between, like, you know, the services, the Xbox Game Pass and the PC version, or anyways, whatnot. Long story short, he wasn't able to do it. So, but then earlier in the week, there was an announcement saying that Xbox Project Scarlet may have a cheaper diskless sibling with called Project Lockhart. So as you know, Project Scarlet is the code name for the current the next gen system that's going to happen. They originally their plan was that this was going to be a one console. There was going to be a 2-console system. When they announced like xCloud and all these other stuff, people thought, and also Xbox themselves were saying Project Lockhart was not going to be done, or they weren't going to make it. But then all of a sudden, the rumors started coming back when the head of what's his name? I always forget his name. The leader of Xbox, the president of that, came back to say that there is a second version of the system that's still coming, which is going to be a diskless version of the Scarlet. So just in that statement alone, in my opinion, I mean, first off, I'm not an Xbox guy either, so I don't know what to expect on what with Microsoft. But overall, I just think that in a sales point kind of view, I don't know if it's a good idea to kind of give that kind of choices like immediately for the next gen, because like when you think about what Microsoft is starting to do, is like, okay, first they're getting their feet wet with xCloud. Then they're saying that all proprietary games are going to be going on PC, so on PC as well as their consoles. Then they give you a choice of saying, here's a disc version of the game. Then they're going to give you another option that says, here's a discless version console of the game. Now, to a consumer, it's awesome that you have all those choices. But then, but look on the back end. Like, think as a developer. Like, now you're going to have to think of, like, okay, so we have to program these games in 2 different kinds of formats, as well as keeping up on saying, okay, so this is going to be a PC port of the same game, and different kinds of things. Like, you're putting too much load on, in the way, in my opinion, you're putting way too much load on these different kinds of options to play. It's cool that you're having a lot of options, but at the same time, I don't know if it's a good idea, because overall, having a diskless version is pretty much guaranteeing you're going to be spending more money in the long run than you would if you had a disc version of it, because you're going to have to get digital. You're always going to have to pay the full, like, it's going to be the full price if anything. Or if you're paying the monthly fee for the Microsoft Game Pass, it's going to be you're going to have to consistently depend on that to get your gaming. So I was just thinking, is more better for the overall as a, in the console, during the console age. Like, what do you, so I was wanting to see what y'all guys thought about that.
So isn't there a discless version of the Xbox right now?
Yes.
Or I know there's one for PlayStation. Okay.
Yes, the Xbox
So they've already got that going, and okay. I don't know how successful that one is. And honestly, like, it really depends on what the price difference is. I mean, if we're talking like a couple hundred, then maybe it might be worth it for the casual gamer. But if we're talking like $100 difference, it's not really worth it in my opinion. Especially because I know a lot of people love the idea of like having a physical disc and like having the game case and like collecting that kind of stuff. And there's been like multiple people that have shared that sentiment. So I think, first off, I think like that's something to kind of consider if you look into purchasing it. But also, I agree with you. It doesn't sound like a very smart business move. And it does sound like it's going to be additional work on the developers because now they have to try to work with all these cross platforms, which great for the gamer. Oh, I can play cross platform with all my friends on PC and whatnot, but bad for the developer because now they have to try to translate that over to another system. And sometimes that doesn't always go as smooth as people think. And I feel like too, if you're presenting cheaper options for stuff, people may go with the cheaper option just because, and then Xbox eventually can lose out on money.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just don't like the idea. Well, first off, if you're going to have a diskless version, a diskless case of it specifically, I would say overall is I don't understand why they because like the reason why they're wanting a diskless version is either that the SAD that came out, the Xbox standalone console must have had a better return for all the games for the games, which is probably not a lot because let's face it, Xbox's like library of games has been fairly weak in this genre, this generation, as opposed to the 360. They had a bigger return on it because you were forced to be either doing Xbox Game Pass or you buying the games full price with no discount, like $60. So like if you're wanting to do it that way, then do it that way. I just think that if not, then don't. I mean, because now you're giving a lot of different kinds of choices, a lot of different kinds of options, and I don't understand overall that they're wanting to give this to the consumer like that. And then I don't know. I'm not really for all of that. So
yeah.
No, I mean,
now Smitty, you play on Xbox, right?
No, I've never owned an Xbox in my life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, I thought it was cool that they do have the Game Pass. So having a PC, I'm able to now play these games that I've never played before, and that part's cool. It was super cumbersome just trying to go in. Like I went to try to do the Master Chief collection, and like apparently I was on the wrong side of things, so I end up having to you have to go like kind of a little further down into the layers and like switch over to like almost like a PC mode or something like that. And then once I was able to do that, then it gave me the option to be able to install the game, which was cool, but it was kind of a pain. I mean, again, like for PlayStation, I probably have like 6 or 7 discs, and I haven't gotten a disc in well over 2 years, probably, or something like that. I'm just kind of, I'm like, it's convenient, but I get and I understand why people, they enjoy having that, that physical copy. Like no matter what happens, I at least have this game and I own this game. So I completely understand, that side of that as well. But yeah, to me, it's like, I can see it, and I can see, kind of like that's kind of how I feel about the Switch Lite. I was like, well, why would people pay, less? Why not when you could pay a little extra and now you have the full, you could do anything. But I think you explained it. Some people, especially like younger, it opens it up and it makes it a little more affordable for people. So now you can see more kids, being in that price range or whatever. So I think they're just looking for those options. Really, and
it's not more affordable because in the long run you're going to be paying more money than the base console. I mean, when you think about it.
Well, I think it depends on, the level of a gamer you are. Because if you're like just a casual gamer, you play your Fortnite on your Xbox and maybe like call it games like that. then maybe it is worth it in that sense. But if you are looking at like, you know, you're heavy into RPGs and you're heavy into like playing multiple games, and let's also talk about, you know, external like, because you're gonna have to store stuff on that system in some way, shape, or form, and like saving game data and so on and so forth. Even with the cloud, there's still gonna have to be some sort of way to save that information on your end device. And so it's just like that's still gonna tally up, and you're gonna end up probably having to invest in some kind of external storage.
Yeah.
So
But
I
like,
think if
okay.
you are not a casual gamer, it is absolutely gonna cost you more money.
Okay, yeah, because look at it this way. Even okay, let's say you are a casual gamer and you have a diskless diskless console. You're not going to buy. Obviously, you're not going to be buying games normally at $60 or whatnot. So guess what's going to happen? You're going to think that the Xbox Game Pass is a good choice to go with, because Xbox Game Pass is $15 a month. Is it? I don't know the rates. Is it $15? I don't know. But anyways, it's
not $9. It's $10.
I have no
$10.
idea.
So it's a $10 a month $10 a month thing that you're gonna do. You're gonna treat it basically like Netflix. It's gonna be a library of games that you're gonna automatically have readily available to you. Plus, you know, does Xbox Game Pass also technically give you gold, or do you have to get gold separately? I think it gives you gold, but I think you have to upgrade to like ultimate or platinum or whatever for the highest tier to play online, or to do things like that. Or I mean, because
I'm able to play online.
Okay,
but I only pay it's the $10. Yeah.
Okay, but you still have to buy a pass to do the online play, specifically on on your Xbox. So. You're going to I don't have an Xbox. Well, normally you're going to spend the money. So you're going to spend your average $10 a month. Now, how the original SAD played was only $50 cheaper than what the original Xbox the regular version of the Xbox One. So if they do the same kind of BS,
I was gonna say,
you're not gonna really be saving. You're gonna be spending more money overall, because you're gonna be depending on that monthly payment, that monthly fee of the Xbox Game Pass. And if there is a game that you're interested in, you're gonna have to buy a game new. Sorry, Flex. Yeah, so that's my point.
No, you're okay. You're okay.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say Lucentai in chat makes a really good point that it's less money up front for parents who don't see the long-term stretch, which I think is the point you're making as well. You know, it might be less money at first, but you're paying in the long run way more.
Yeah, because because you're now depending on Microsoft to give you your stuff. You're going to be depending on for good wise on what's happening, and I mean, and it's fine.
My games.
Yeah, for all I'm gonna steal your quote, all the stuff and things. So all that I'm just saying is that I don't like the idea that when Scarlet is coming out, they're deciding, okay, we're going to give you a chance. Well, first off, if you have a PC, it's null and void. There's no absolute reason why you would need an Xbox. You have a good PC. No reason to have an Xbox at all. So then, so that's already a non-starter for me. But if you don't, then it's okay. So why would I want the disc version in the discless? So you're wanting to it feels like Microsoft is trying to bait you to get something cheaper, but then in the longer you're paying more because you're going to get a bigger return on more. So I don't know.
Yeah. Like I said, I think the real only benefit is if you're a casual gamer. And I'm talking casual to the point where you wouldn't even really invest in a Game Pass. That would be the only way you would be able to get any sort of value out of something like that. Otherwise, just get the full price thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those guys. I need a copy of it, the original copies of it, because the internet is very volatile. That's why I remember the previous thing we were talking about with Stadia. Stadia last week is that's the sole reason why I would not suggest anyone to get Stadia right now, because it's not ready yet, and to say you're gonna put all your eggs in the basket on this thing that's completely online is really it's dangerous to me. So so now if you're going to be depending on a company that's going to give your games via server or access to via server by downloading it into the thing, I'm like, no, I'm good. I mean, I have my physical copy, so if the internet decides to be banned 1 year, I'll still have my games, you know?
Yeah.
So anyways. All right, well that's
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. Okay, cool. So we will be on our final topic, Flexiss. You're going to be bringing it home. What do you have to bring on the table?
Alrighty, I'm really excited to talk about this one. So I'm going to be talking about a game that's coming out pretty soon. It's a bit of a obscure game. Not a lot of people knew about it. So I'm talking about Vampire the Masquerade. Initially, it started out as a tabletop game, made by, let me check. I want to say it was White Wolf, or World of Darkness. My apologies. And then they created Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, and that was during the PS1 games. Well, now they're coming out with Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York, which takes the world of the tabletop game Vampire the Masquerade from the creators of World of Darkness. Essentially, the player takes the role of one of the three fledgling vampires from different vampire clans, who each can use different vampiric abilities and interact with the members of their. Oh, I can hear myself.
Whoops, my bad.
Oh, there
Sorry.
we go. Okay, we're good. So it can interact with the members of their coteries in different ways, and coteries are just essentially like your clan, your group of people. The story depicts the struggle between two vampiric factions and diverges into different directions depending on the choices the player makes. It is a single-player RPG involving dialogue and story choices with multiple endings, adding great replayability. As with most RPGs, there is, of course, side quests and loyalty quests, as well as opportunities to bond with other characters in your party. Now, a couple interesting things about this game. The game was originally set to release in the beginning of December. I want to believe it was December 3rd. However, the makers chose to allow a 1-week delay to allow for more bug fixing. So the game is now set to release December 11th for PC, and for Switch, PS4, and Xbox One, it'll come out in the first quarter in 2020. They did announce as well that they plan to have additional expansions for the game. So a couple of things I want to make note of. There is an additional Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 game that's coming out in the spring of 2020. Super excited for that. But this game is kind of the segue, in a sense, between now and then. First off, it's a game based off the tabletop. Really exciting stuff, and I really, really enjoy it for that aspect alone. And the lore behind it is fantastic. I mean, it's extremely in depth. But in addition, I really want to talk about the fact that they delayed release specifically to fix bugs, because we don't see that a lot with game releases. In fact, I feel like we see the opposite, where we see a lot of gaming companies try to extend the release, or try to shorten the release of a game just due to like competitive market and so forth. And then you get these games that are really crummy, which I know Smitty especially is very familiar with. I won't mention any names, but
Yeah, we don't talk about it.
But that's the thing, is where I found it really interesting that we're seeing this game that had a delayed release specifically to fix, bugs and so forth, to really give care into the gameplay. So I want to get your guys' thoughts. Obviously, I know it's a bit of a niche market with this type of game, and it's more point and click. It's very narrative heavy, less about combat and things like that. But the fact that they're taking like a tabletop game and turning it into the sort of like visualized story, I don't know. I think it's really cool.
No, I mean I like those novel based games. I mean, now does it play like a basically a read, like you have to read a lot and then like basically like a Walking Dead? Is it kind of like that, or is it like a
Yeah, that's what
Like
it's
a Telltale?
yeah, like a Telltale game?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's more in that realm. The Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is another RPG, and that one's going to be, like you control a character, you walk around, there's action and things like that. So,
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like I said, I found it really interesting that they delayed the release of it, because we see a lot of games that have a rushed release just due to marketing. And so I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Smart. That's smart. Don't be a fool. Don't be a fool like everybody else that rushes their stuff and then it ends up bombing and tanking, and then they look like fools, and then they're like, oh wait, we gotta implement these changes. That it's like, take your time with it. Again, I don't think anybody's gonna be mad that you have to take a little bit of, and maybe there will be. Who cares? You know what I mean? It's like, I'd rather have a good product, one that is ready and ready to go out, instead of saying, hey, let me throw out this broken thing that I know is broken, and I'm gonna try to fix it along the way. You know what I mean?
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Because, overall, it's kind of like, we have patience. I mean, now there is a level of don't do what Kingdom Hearts did, which was basically, from 2 to 3, it was a 15-year break. But we have patience. So when you say that it's gonna be delayed, and you give the reason on what you're trying to do. Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. That's the one problem I kind of have with the gaming industry, is that they're not that forthcoming. And like you said, it's very rare for a gaming groups and stuff to kind of tell you that, until it's like basically close to the release date, and like, hey, we're gonna delay it. We're gonna have to delay it because of so and so. Then people get a little mad because they're like, oh, we need to do it. No, if you're transparent enough to do that kind of thing, it's very understandable. I'd rather have a working game than a game that they're going to have to come back to and fix upwards to get what you said that you're going to get out of it. Hence, virtually almost like maybe 80% of all the Kickstarter games that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows?
Right.
I mean, it's sad. No, but they definitely did a really good job on portraying that information, and then and they said a week. So I mean, it's a week. So I think reasonably it's fine. They must have found
now,
something. Oh no, go for it.
I was gonna say, because obviously this is very much like your point and click narrative heavy game, but I'm curious if depending on the gaming genre, if there's more or less leeway with releasing a game that's buggy, because we see that a lot with shooters, that there's tons of bugs and stuff like that, and they fix that after release.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm kind of curious if because of the type of game that this is, that's why it's so important to have the bugs set out of the way and so forth before the release, versus
no.
Again, I won't name any names, but certain shooter games that get released, and I mean, even you can see Modern Warfare and Call of Duty and stuff like that have bugs, and they'll get released, and the bugs will be discovered afterwards, and then they're fixed and patched and stuff like that. So I feel like maybe it's genre dependent.
I think you're right about that.
I don't think so, actually.
I think it's more acceptable in some genres than it is in something like that. You know what I mean? Something like that, and especially a game that's narrative driven. If you have bugs, you know what I mean? There's nothing to hide behind with that. That shit is in your face. You know what I mean? There's not a lot that you're doing other than going down the storyline. Again, I've never played that game. I've heard of people, and I've seen people. I haven't really seen people play it, but I've heard of it before. I wasn't familiar with what it was exactly, but yeah, it seems like it would be hard to try to hide behind a bug in a game that's kind of paced like that, as opposed to something that is super fast paced and I get stuck in the wall, or you know what I mean, something like that. And we'll just patch it later, or you know what I mean. I mean, again, you're not going to be able to catch everything, and I get that, but something like this, you can take your time and say, hey, we want this as clean and polished as possible. So I respect it.
Well, I mean, I in a way, I do agree. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of 50-50 when it comes to that. Well, a first-person shooter is it flows a lot. Things will always change. There's always going to be balance checks, balance and updates and upgrades and stuff like that to kind of keep the game somewhat balanced between you playing multiplayer. But and you're right. I think the risk is bigger for a game that doesn't need to do that doesn't need to constantly change with the times from all of this. So they can get so first person shooters can get away with okay, we're going to be doing an update patch, so and so and so and so. But I don't know. But I wouldn't say that because of the kind of game it is that they can't do that either. It's just, if they do have to do that, that's just saying that they were rushing it. And then, so depending, because I bet you, let's say Vampire Masquerades was an EA game, and they had a strict deadline to release this thing to come out the time it said it was going to come out. They probably wouldn't care, and then they'll say, okay, it's going to come out this day, and then they're going to backtrack and then and try to fix whatever they need to fix in the future. I think it's more dependable. It's more dependent on who is making the game and what their importances are, rather than saying it's a genre based. Because I mean, like, anything can be changed nowadays. It's not like how it was like 30 years ago with the Super Nintendo. Like, if you needed to do an update on the game, you have to make a brand new game, you know. So I just think, so I think that's the way I kind of think of it. I think that this group, I don't know, what was the name of the publisher that's making it?
Gosh, I have to find the specific publisher.
Oh, that's okay. But
it looks like it looks like the developers and publishers were called Draw Distance. So not a huge name in the gaming community.
Right. Well, I mean, okay, so
it's somebody different than has done these games in the past that's publishing and doing this?
Yes, but also it's based off of a tabletop game that was created by the World of Darkness. So World of Darkness has like multiple different tabletop games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what like the setting and the lore and everything like that around Vampire the Masquerade is now taken into like a digital realm.
I see.
Okay, so it's not just like one story that's together. It's all these different adventures and stories that happen within this universe. Okay.
So kind of
exactly.
Kind of like what Warhammer does, right? Like you know, different kind of realms. Different
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I see. Yeah, so I mean, I just think that the priorities of who created the game is in line of saying we don't want to release a broken game, and I think that reflects, if they do a move like this, it's reflecting on saying on showing how much they're taking care of their IP, you know, for this. And especially if you're a fan of like you are a fan of the Vampire series, and you do come across these glitches, because to be honest, that's probably one of the things that really turned me off on Telltale, because their thing was so glitchy. It was so bad at points of times that it just made me not want to play them again. Like we were getting review copies of the of certain Telltale games, and I was just saying no, because I didn't want to waste my time. So I think it's more on who makes it rather than genre based overall.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
I would agree with that, especially for bigger companies and titles like EA.
Yeah, Naughty Nimbus says text and audio can really break the game. Have you seen the bugs for GoldenEye? Seen the bugs for GoldenEye in the Japanese release? I have never seen that, and I will see this after this because you just intrigued me. Naughty Nimbus.
I didn't.
That sounds interesting.
Are we talking about the old one or the new one?
Probably. Is it the old? Yeah, that's a good question. With the new one came out on the Xbox, right?
Or is it?
The Xbox, right?
Yeah, something, I think.
Oh, no.
I know it was on. Are you talking about? Well, there was that remake for the Wii too. I did.
That's
cool.
True.
It's all right.
Yeah, let me know a little bit more specific once we're done with the podcast. Which were, was there anything else you were adding on to that, Flexiss?
No. I just wanted to talk more about like what the game is, and talk about the fact that they did push the release date, because I thought that was actually the fact that they were so forward about why they pushed it, and B, the fact that they pushed it at all was really interesting to me. So I wanted to talk about that aspect, and then just talk about one of my favorite game series.
Yeah, cool deal.
That's awesome.
Cool deal. All right, well, the biggest thing... Okay, so I guess we're going to be wrapping up the podcast, but before we go, there's a couple of things I'd like to discuss with the people here. First off, this is going to be our last podcast for the year. We had an awesome 31-episode streak of this. This is was from the mind of what we initially started, like back in... What would you say, Smitty? March, was it? I think it was March.
It was like March or April, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we've been transforming it to slowly and surely, especially with the feedback that we're getting with people, especially what we did, what we enjoyed, what we liked, and I'd like to first thank everybody that's been supporting us to get where we are. So thank you so much for stopping by and checking every episode. And if you do us a favor with that, is to just either follow us on the on our podcast services on the Apple or Google Podcasts, and on Podbean as well, where we do our main stuff. So thank you for all of this to kind of keep it going. But there's some but now to the big announcement. And there's some good news and some bad news. So we'll start with the bad news. And because of like all of the stuff that we are like that we do is Smitty is going back and forth between Smitty's channel and our channel, and not doing it for Flexiss is kind of not fair for her as well. And then plus we just have a full-fledged full-time stuff. I mean, Flexiss is going to tournaments, I'm running the website and doing a full-time job. Smitty is just being Smitty, and
being Smitty is a full-time
absolutely.
Okay?
It is a full-time job in itself. So because of all of that, we're going to stop doing the back and forth stuff, and we're not going to be doing it on CFG Games or on Smitty's channel anymore. And we're kind of going back to kind of figuring out what we're needing to do. So that's the bad news. But the good news is we're deciding to make its own individual channel for CFG Gamecast. So we have the CFG Gamecast Twitch channel that is now open. So if you're wanting, so from now on, you don't need to go between Smitty's channel or CFG Games. Just go to CFG Gamecast on Twitch, and you'll be able to just give us a follow there. And every episode that we're going to be doing in the future is going to be on that channel. So we're going to be you can check it right now. So if you go to us, on Twitch,
shout out,
all one words. Yep. Yep. So we're going to be doing some pretty cool stuff there. We're going to be adding we're going to be doing its own different kinds of deals, calendars. We're going to have alarms finally. I know that's one of the big things that people were saying. So if we hit eventually an affiliate status, then we'll also be doing some cool stuff interactively and stuff like that. So definitely follow us on CFG Gamecast. We're going to do our very first episode on that in mid-January. So we'll probably post there. So definitely give us a follow there. As well as I'm going to be moving, actually literally going to be moving this week. So excuse me, literally moving this week, so we can actually so the whole setup is going to change. Like the whole the layouts, the overlays, the alarms, everything is going to be changing for the better. So definitely check us out there from now on. So to not miss any episodes, and just do what you always do. So we will definitely be keeping up with everybody. We love each and every one of y'all to keep on trucking, to be just as much of the cool gamers as y'all are. And we will see y'all in mid-January. So right now, everyone have a nice, safe, and happy holidays. A great new year. Don't get too drunk. Smitty. Yeah.
I gotta work New Year's Eve, man.
Yeah, you're just going crazy. I'm just going crazy today. That's what it is. I'm sorry. But anyways, before we go, Flexiss, are you streaming any plans? Any plans on streaming anytime while we're gone, or?
So I definitely will be streaming. I don't have a set schedule as of yet, just with the holidays and family obligations and things like that. But the best way to keep up with my streams is actually to check me out on Twitter at Flexiss __. I always do my streaming announcements there, so I'll probably be streaming tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to. Maybe stream tonight, but definitely streaming quite a bit this week. So you guys can catch me online with a sweet Street Fighter, maybe some RPGs mixed in. Especially when Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York comes out. I probably going to do my initial reaction, like a stream of that. So I'm looking forward to it.
Right. Good. Awesome. Awesome. And Smitty, any plans on streaming? What's your streaming plans?
No, tonight actually we are putting up our inside Christmas decorations. So I know they got the tree up, so we gotta do that, get the lights up and all that good stuff. So that's the rest of the how I'll spend tonight. Maybe I may play some games later. I got back into I still got to finish the Fallen Order. Which I played that. Death Stranding I haven't even touched in since before the Extra Life stream. That was the last time I touched it. I haven't even touched it, dude. So I got some games to play, but looking to relax and chill out, and then I'll be back for sure next Friday. So.
Right. Okay. Cool. And like I said, since I'm I haven't really had a really good streaming schedule this whole year, and hopefully by the new move and everything, setting up the new streaming area, it's going to be a lot better. A lot better for next year, for 2020. So right now I'm going to be focusing on basically moving all this stuff, getting the setup and everything. Hopefully I want to try to do my first test streaming by next week, not this following weekend, but the weekend after. So after when that all happens, I'll definitely be posting it. But in the mean, so definitely check us out over at CFG Games. And I don't even know what I want to stream. There's so much games I need to play. It's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
So, you could hop in on our Mine and Phase Divinity.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So we've got an extra slot open.
Oh, I'm definitely down, man. But I don't have, man. But y'all must be overpowered comparatively to where I'm gonna be. I have to start from the beginning.
Nah, we just started our campaign.
Oh, okay. Well, let me know when you play, and then I'm definitely down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right, man. But thank you so much for stopping by on CFG Gamecast. We are going to take it easy, and I hope y'all have a great and happy holidays.